one that gets a lot of the feature, which is harvest. And so, how do you ensure that everything runs smoothly during harvest? And what are your top priorities during that time?
Well, I guess leading up to harvest, obviously we're going through all of our machines and trying to make sure all of our maintenance is up to specs with everything. Our combines kind of come first and foremost. So we try to really get everything as prepared as we can in the middle of summer, and after that, tractors and everything else in between, and then basically kind of followed up. We just really make sure all of our grain storage facilities and our sites that we have, as far as all those things go, are ready to roll, so that when we do start to fill bins and everything else, we know that everything's running smooth. But it's really in the summertime, we try to do as much as we possibly can on all of our machines to know that we're not having any breakdowns or having, any of that downtime in the middle of harvest, because that's what really, can slow things down. So we try to do as much as we can leading up, and right as we get started to dial things in so that we can keep just a good smooth running pace. And we try to tell all of our guys that help us here on the farm. We just want to keep a good, smooth running pace. We want everybody to be safe, and just keep the machines running as smooth as we possibly can.
So
Yeah.
we have got to address the infrastructure and other issues. Dredging is another issue. Well, we've got to address the issues to keep our locks and dams efficient and reliable, and keep towboat and barge transportation a viable means for not just America's family farmers, but all of the products that move by barge, and all of them that every member of the Americans' consumer population enjoys and relies on.
Take interest in what you do. It doesn't take a lot to make a huge difference. Making a phone call, writing a quick letter, and if you don't even have that much time, like I said, being a member of the association and empowering other leaders on your behalf to represent you is so key.
Yeah, so Mexico continues to be our number one buyer of corn. And so I think that's a really good sign. They continue to be our number one purchaser of our dry distillers grains as well. And so they are continue to be a very reliable trading partner right now, even though there are, I would say, some uncertainties. And those are things that are continuing to be worked through, and the process that is being done through all the correct channels with USTR, and kind of that process. And so we have a team in Mexico that have really great relationships with the local producers. And so I would say that there are still a lot of opportunities, still a lot of demand that are being done there. The other thing that I would say, looking at Illinois Corn and their investments, is there is a Mexico storage program that we have started there. And so having a better understanding of how to properly store corn in very hot and humid um, environments and in weather is really interesting. And that project's going on in Mexico as well, because of course the temperatures there are quite different than in Illinois. And so that's something that's starting in Mexico, but the findings there will then have global implications, which is really exciting, something that, Illinois has been a really strong partner in.
We as an organization are learning how to create programming that limits the effect that AI has on our exports. So a lot of our programming actually is focused on AI right now. So we have a goodwill type of program where we'll go into, say we're talking about Africa. We'll go to Africa and we'll gather the veterinarians for each country's government, and it's kind of a two-part thing. First, we're teaching them, hey, this is what the United States does. We have the most robust protocols and procedures in place when we have a high path avian influenza outbreak. This is what we do, and we're we're showing you how to do it. So when your poultry production is hit with an AI outbreak, this is how you can respond.
And you would be amazed, the general producer out there would be amazed at what subjects and who's sitting around the table, and they're not always friendly. And if you're not there to tell your side of the story, you become the meal. I mean, it's absolutely true, and we're finding that out more and more every day. So our members, though they may not be able to be directly involved through their membership dues, they enable others on their behalf to represent them, and if you will, sit at the table with them in these key discussions that are taking place to make sure that their issues are heard and understood.
You alluded to the fact that there could be an 8 to 10 cent bushel or 8 to 10 cents per bushel cost of the deterioration of the river system.
Mhm.
So the membership has a dues to it, but I would see that those dollars could be quickly replaced by improved infrastructure. Talk to us a little bit about the importance of being a member, how those dollars are utilized, and what those dollars give you the ability to do.
So yeah, excited to do that, and that has been very key for us getting to where we are today. And I'm not ashamed to say that if it hadn't been for Illinois Corn and the work that our current board and our past boards have invested in resources in things, and our members, educating our members, and then engaging them when the time was right, we wouldn't be where we are today.
Japan is, I would say, is a very loyal buyer of commodity corn, always has been, and so that is one area that we continue to work with them, and on the kind of like feed grain side of just commodity corn. And then the other side is on the ethanol front. We're seeing that they have more interest in the ethanol side. We just did, and Illinois was a part of this, kind of a pilot program for higher direct blends of ethanol there. And then they have interest in sustainable aviation fuel as well. And so increasing demand for ethanol in Japan is another way that we're working very closely again with Illinois and Japan as well.
Farming through different generations, what are some of the new technologies and practices that you've been able to implement over the last 10 years?
We've definitely precision ag technology has developed a long way, especially in the past 10 years. We really utilize a few things like climate. We're a green operation here, so we use a lot of the John Deere operations data and technology, so where we can keep track of everything from start to finish. So basically everything in the spring, from when we start from our fertilizer to planting, and then all the way through the growing season, checking out our crop health imagery.